Do you know the biggest challenge which anybody faces when they are building a startup or even a bigger organization? In my opinion, that is building a right management team to start with. It is very challenging task. If somebody has a great team, obviously they are going to build a very good company, but most of the time people struggle with that. And the reason is very simple. It involves a lot of strategic planning, networking, adaptability to build a right team. Today, I'm going to cover some of the points which I feel you should be definitely considering when you are trying to build a management team, even if you're in bigger organization. But for startups and smaller companies, these points are extremely critical because if you miss on any of these points, you are definitely going to see larger impact on your major KPIs in as compared to bigger organization because they have a larger footprint to play. So one of the things you have to figure out when you are small is that you have to identify all the key roles and the skills required. Most of the time people start with roles which look probably very important, but it is actually not. So how you should decide on that? You should be definitely aligning your short term and long term goals, and then you are figuring out which rules are required to be fulfilled. So for example, if you're running an online store, what is more important for you, having a somebody who manages the product and inventory, or somebody who is capable of building a strong SEO or strong digital tech channels for you? And based upon that you decide whom to hire. So it can be in sales, it can be in marketing, finance, operations, product development, and any other area. But that's something you have to decide. Then you need to see if somebody is culturally fit in your company. Culture is probably something I have seen varies a lot. I have probably worked for almost 6, 7 to 8 companies, and I can tell you from the way people work which organization they might be coming from. So you have to see when you're hiring how somebody is aligning to your vision and other KPIs, other plans for your company, and then you have to look for complementary skills which you might not have. That way you are going to fill a skill gap as well as somebody who's aligned with your vision and the plan for the company. Extremely important point. The third one will be you need to start small and then scale. Don't plan to hire too many people. It's probably this will be one of the biggest overhead apart from capital investment will be your employee cost. So yeah, if you are starting small, try to minimize as much as possible. Try to go lean. That will be profitable for you. You might save a lot of money, and then obviously start with key hires so that they also become embedded in your own processes and visions, and then they probably hire their team and things like that. But that's what I will say. For non-critical role you can definitely start with contractor and things like that. All the companies do that, even the bigger companies. So they don't just hire because they want to hire because they are big. Then you need to test and evaluate. A simple strategy can be giving your new hires a project which might have a very long term impact on your company, and then see how they are executing those products. Most company does the mistake that they try to evaluate people on short term goals. You must have heard of phrase low hanging fruit and things like that. If somebody is talking that terms, probably you should not going to join. Definitely don't join those people who are looking for low hanging fruits, because it means that they don't have a plan for themselves. How can they plan for you? So try to see who is there for a long journey but had a mentality of executing something in shorter run so that you can have a long term benefit. That probably can be a good test for you, and that's what I feel. You should definitely offer equity and other incentives. I will recommend, if you're a startup, definitely offer equity. That actually reduces your immediate burden of burning cash. and the person who is getting equity, they will have a sense of ownership. So it works both way, win-win. Another thing which have seen lacks probably almost in every company is a leadership program. We have seen people, have seen leaders who say that we don't need leadership program, we are the leaders. So somebody in sales or somebody is a CEO here, they will say, oh, I don't need sales training, I already started from this company from 0 to 50 million, why should I need to learn sales? They're fundamentally wrong. Each one of us has to learn every single day. If you are become from 0 to 50, you might become 0 to 500 if you have taken some trainings and things like that. People don't think that way. You should never do that mistake. Leadership is a learning process which has to be lifelong. Anybody who thinks that any point of in their lifetime that they have learned everything which they can, that's where they stop growing. And you can see all those companies, all the companies who have died in the last 20 years, their leaders have stopped learning long before then. So never do that. If you are starting up, definitely have a leadership program, communication skill programs, public speaking programs, cross functional training and things like that. That's what I have seen work very well. And the last one is hire only, not only, I would say, hire from your network, because then you can get a lot of references. You can see, you can evaluate people before even joining based upon feedback. Most of the time interviews are just a gut feeling in management, absolutely not in programming or technical skill. It is very easy to evaluate if somebody is a good programmer or not, but it is very difficult to find out if somebody is empathetic or not, if somebody is arrogant or not, if somebody is a team player or not. There is no parameters to evaluate these kind of skills. So you rely on your network to find out those people, that whether somebody, if you are hiring, is a team player, he's a learner, he's a listener, and things like that. If those things are not aligned, you are going to have a hard time somebody teaching in your startup, because in any startup you are, anybody is going to have responsibility for multiple roles. Somebody might join as a CFO, CEO, or things like that, but they might be doing everything else in the company. So you have to be very careful in evaluating people from your own network. If you don't find them, then you can go for open channels. So these are the 7 points I wanted to cover. You might be doing all those things, but going deep, if you're already doing, you might find some areas to improve, and that's how you can build a team. In my experience, building a great team probably is more difficult than building a great product or service. And that has to be fixed definitely once you have an idea in place and you have a MVP plan. Let me know if you have any other thoughts on this topic. I can share more detail. Also, please like, share, and subscribe and comment below. And thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye.